أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. إذا وقعت الواقعة ليس لوقعتها كاذبة خافضة رافعة إذا رجت الأرض رجا وبست الجبال بسا فكانت هباء منبثا وكنتم أزواجا ثلاثة فأصحاب الميمنة ما أصحاب الميمنة وأصحاب المشأمة ما أصحاب المشأمة والسابقون السابقون أولئك المقربون في جنات النعيم ثلة من الأولين وقليل من الآخرين على سرر موضونة متكئين عليها متقابلين يطوف عليهم ولدان مخلدون بأكواب وأباريك وكأس من معين لا يصدعون عنها ولا ينزفون وفاكهة مما يتخيرون ولحم طير مما يشتهون وحور عين كأمثال اللؤلؤ المكنون جزاء بما كانوا يعملون لا يسمعون فيها لغوا ولا تأثيما إلا قيلا سلاما سلاما وأصحاب اليمين ما أصحاب اليمين في سدر مخضود وطلح منضود وظل ممدود وماء مسكوب وفاكهة كثيرة لا مقطوعة ولا ممنوعة وفرش مرفوعة إنا أنشأناهن إنشاء فجعلناهن أبكارا عربا أترابا لأصحاب اليمين ثلة من الأولين وثلة من الآخرين وأصحاب الشمال ما أصحاب الشمال في سموم وحميم وظل من يحموم لا بارد ولا كريم إنهم كانوا قبل ذلك مترفين وكانوا يصرون على الحنث العظيم وكانوا يقولون أئذا متنا وكنا ترابا وعظاما أئنا لمبعوثون أوآباؤنا الأولون قل إن الأولين والآخرين لمجموعون إلى ميقات يوم معلوم ثم إنكم أيها الضالون المكذبون لآكلون من شجر من زقوم فمالئون منها البطون فشاربون عليه من الحميم فشاربون شرب الهيم هذا نزلهم يوم الدين نحن خلقناكم فلولا تصدقون أفرأيتم ما تمنون أأنتم تخلقونه أم نحن الخالقون نحن قدرنا بينكم الموت وما نحن بمسبوقين على أن نبدل أمثالكم وننشئكم فيما لا تعلمون ولقد علمتم النشأة الأولى فلولا تذكرون أفرأيتم ما تحرثون أأنتم تزرعونه أم نحن الزارعون لو نشاء لجعلناه حطاما فظلتم تفكهون إنا لمغرمون بل نحن محرومون أفرأيتم الماء الذي تشربون أأنتم أنزلتموه من المزن أم نحن المنزلون لو نشاء جعلناه أجاجا فلولا تشكرون أفرأيتم النار التي تورون أأنتم أنشأتم شجرتها أم نحن المنشئون نحن جعلناها تذكرة ومتاعا للمقوين فسبح باسم ربك العظيم فلا أقسم بمواقع النجوم وإنه لقسم لو تعلمون عظيم إنه لقرآن كريم في كتاب مكنون لا يمسه إلا المطهرون تنزيل من رب العالمين أفبهذا الحديث أنتم مدهنون وتجعلون رزقكم أنكم تكذبون فلولا إذا بلغت الحلقوم وأنتم حينئذ تنظرون ونحن أقرب إليه منكم ولكن لا تبصرون فلولا إن كنتم غير مدينين ترجعونها إن كنتم صادقين فأما إن كان من المقربين فروح وريحان وجنة نعيم وأما إن كان من أصحاب اليمين فسلام لك من أصحاب اليمين وأما إن كان من المكذبين الضالين فنزل من حميم وتصلية جحيم إن هذا لهو حق اليقين فسبح باسم ربك العظيم صدق الله العلي العظيم اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد وعجل فرجهم أجمعين.
محمد وآل محمد صلوات اللهم صل عباس تیرا حق ہے زمانہ تجھے روئے عباس تیرا حق ہے زمانہ تجھے روئے جب شام و سحر فاطمہ زہرا تجھے روئے جب شام و سحر فاطمہ زہرا تجھے روئے عباس تیرا حق ہے زمانہ تجھے روئے جس وقت اٹھایا نہ گیا لاشا جوان کا جس وقت اٹھایا نہ گیا لاشا جوان کا ارے اس گھڑی اکبر سے زیادہ تجھے روئے شاہ اس گھڑی اکبر سے زیادہ تجھے روئے جب شام و سحر فاطمہ زہرا تجھے روئے جب شام و سحر فاطمہ زہرا تجھے روئے عباس تیرا حق ہے زمانہ تجھے روئے زینب نے کہا شام میں غریبہ میں غازی ارے زینب نے کہا شام میں غریبہ میں اے غازی بے پردہ مجھے دیکھ کے بابا تجھے روئے بے پردہ مجھے دیکھ کے بابا تجھے روئے عباس تیرا حق ہے زمانہ تجھے روئے بن ہاتھوں کے کس طرح تھا تو گور سے گرا تھا ارے بن ہاتھوں سے کس طرح تو گورے
گرا تھا یہ سن کے بہت اہل مدینہ تجھے روئے عباس تیرا حق ہے زمانہ تجھے روئے سجدے کے لیے جب لیا ہاتھوں کا سہارا ارے سجدے کے لیے جب لیا ہاتھوں کا سہارا تو سجاد مصلی پہ ہمیشہ تجھے روئے تو سجاد مصلی پہ زیادہ تجھے روئے جب شام و سحر فاطمہ زہرا تجھے روئے جب شام و سحر فاطمہ زہرا تجھے روئے عباس تیرا حق ہے زمانہ تجھے روئے مشکیزہ ہے کہیں جسم کہیں ہاتھ کہیں ہے مشکیزہ کہیں جسم کہیں ہاتھ کہیں ہے جا جا کے کہا فاطمہ زہرا تجھے روئے جا جا کے کہا فاطمہ زہرا تجھے روئے عباس تیرا حق ہے زمانہ تجھے روئے ارمان سکینہ کا تھا جتنا تجھے روتی ارمان سکینہ کا تھا جتنا تجھے روتی سجاد تیری قبر پہ اٹھنا تجھے روئے سجاد تیری قبر پہ اٹھنا تجھے روئے اب جب شام سحر فاطمہ زہرا تجھے روئے عباس تیرا حق ہے زمانہ تجھے روئے. صلی اللہ علیہ وسلم.
صلی علی محمد وآل محمد. عباس قتل ہو گئے محشر ہوا بپا. عباس قتل ہو گئے محشر ہوا بپا. امام ہو گئے بھائی ہوا جدا. عباس قتل ہو گئے محشر ہوا بپا. اب خاتمہ ہے لڑائی علمدار چل بسا. اب ختم ہے لڑائی علمدار چل بسا. امام کہتے ہوئے یہ کیا ہوا. قتل ہو گئے محشر ہوا بپا. اونچے جو گرتے پڑتے تو دیکھا یہ حال زار. اونچے جو گرتے پڑتے تو دیکھا قلم ہے شہر ہے زخمی پڑا ہوا. عباس قتل ہو گئے محشر ہوا بپا. بولے لپٹ کے غازی سے کچھ تو کرو کلام. بولے لپٹ کے غازی سے کچھ تو کرو کلام. کیا حال ہو گیا میرے بھائی یہ کیا ہوا. قتل ہو گئے محشر ہوا بپا. آنکھ کھول کر ہمیں تم دیکھتے نہیں. کیوں آنکھ کھول کر ہمیں تم دیکھتے نہیں. عباس بولے تیر ہے مولا لگا ہوا. عباس قتل ہو گئے محشر ہوا بپا. یاسی سکینہ سے بہت شرمسار ہوں. پیاسی سکینہ سے میں بہت شرمسار ہوں. افسوس ہے کہ وعدہ نہ مجھ سے وفا چار ہچکیاں یہ کہہ رہے تھے آئی جو دو چار ہچکیاں دیکھا امام نے کہ من کا ڈلا ہوا بس قتل ہو گئے محشر ہوا بپا لائے امام مشکو علم خیمہ گاہ میں لائے امام مشکو علم خیمہ گاہ میں چلائی بیبیاں کہ علمدار کیا ہوا عباس قتل ہو گئے محشر ہوا بپا بے کس امام ہو گئے بھائی ہوا جدا
محمد وآل محمد صلی اللہ علیہ وسلم
اللہ صلی علی محمد
Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Respected scholar, my elders, brothers, sisters in Iman, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Surah Fatiha is requested for all the names listed on the screen and Kul Marhamin Al-Fatiha. Ayyama Yajibun is requested for all the names listed on the screen and whoever is in need of it here and elsewhere. Let us all recite it together. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Amma yujibul mustarra idha da'ahu wa yakshifu su. Amma yujibul mustarra idha da'ahu wa yakshifu su. أما يجيب المضطر إذا دعاه ويكشف السوء أما يجيب المضطر إذا دعاه ويكشف السوء أما يجيب المضطر إذا دعاه ويكشف السوء اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين بارئ الخلائق أجمعين وباعث الأنبياء والمرسلين الذي بعد فلا يرى وقرب فشهد النجوى ثم الصلاة والسلام والتحية والإكرام على رسول رب العالمين أبي القاسم محمد وعلى آله الطيبين الطاهرين المعصومين المظلومين لا سيما على الإمام المنتظر وحجة الله الثاني عشر ابن العسكري المنتظر، ولعنة الله على أعدائهم أجمعين من الآن إلى قيام يوم الدين. أما بعد، فقد قال الله سبحانه وتعالى في كتابه الكريم القرآن الحكيم: بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم: والذين جاهدوا فينا لنهدينهم سبلنا وإن الله مع المحسنين. Salawat. Continuing with our discussion based on the verse وَالَّذِينَ جَاهَدُوا فِينَا, when God is addressing us, the mu'mineen, and saying to us that وَالَّذِينَ جَاهَدُوا فِينَا, those who make an endeavor to come towards us, who strive, who make an effort to come close to us, to gain our pleasures. When they make this effort, when they make this endeavor, لَنَحْدِيَنَّهُمْ سُبُلَنَا, we will guide them, we will inform them, we will enlighten for them our ways, the paths that lead to us, the paths that lead to our qurbat. And the reason we do it is وَإِنَّ اللَّهَ مَعَ الْمُحْسِنِينَ, that Allah is always with those who do good deeds, always with those who are pious and righteous. And this has always been the crux of the past two lectures and for the subsequent nights, including tonight. And if you recall, last night we had stopped at a point when we were discussing the mysteries and the secrets of the world of creation that God by His kun fayakun has created, and the asrar and the secrets that lay within this universe, which He is aware of and possesses knowledge of, and those elite family members of the Holy family who have been given the authority and the knowledge of those divine secrets. And in this few nights, our endeavor is to pick up a few of these asrar and secrets so as to sort out our dunya and our akhirat, our life in this world and our afterlife after this world. And last night we reached a point when we were talking about and discussing after the merits of Ayatul Kursi. We spoke about Sheikh Baha'i and the personality of Sheikh Baha'i. And there was a specific reason I dwelt at length on the personality of Sheikh Baha'i. There are two reasons. One is that we need to be aware of these muhsaneen of Islam, these ulama who have done ihsan upon Islam by means of their effort and striving and their endeavor to protect Islam and to spread the message of the Ahlul-bayt, and to get to know these individuals and their contribution. That is point number one. And point number two is to highlight to you the importance and the significance of the personality of Sheikh Baha'i, one, and more specifically the book Miftahul Falah written by him, which, as per the discussion last night, was of such a nature in terms of his khulus, in terms of its contents, in terms of its nafasat and its being nafis, that it caught the attention of the Imam of our time, Imam Zamana Ajjalallahu Ta'ala Farajahu Sharif. So much so that he appears into the dream of a contemporaneous scholar who lived at the time of Sheikh Baha'i and instructed him to pick up that book Miftahul Falah, which Sheikh Baha'i had not yet brought out before the people, had just recently concluded. Other than Sheikh Baha'i, nobody knew about this book. And this individual was instructed to find the book, to copy and make copies of the book, and to distribute it to the people. And that is the importance of this personality of Sheikh Baha'i. And this is the significance of this book, Miftahul Falah, in the eyes of a ma'asum. In this book, Miftahul Falah, there is a tradition which Sheikh Baha'i narrates, going straight up to the time of the 6th Imam and narrated by the 6th Imam, Sadiq Ali Muhammad Ja'far ibn Muhammad and Sadiq alayhi salatu wassalam. In this tradition, the 6th Imam, and this is where I wanted to bring you, In the tradition, the sixth Imam is narrating a hadith, and the text of the hadith goes like this. He says, ثلاثة من فخر المؤمن وعزه في الدنيا والآخرة. Says there are three things that are fakhr for a mu'min and izzat for a mu'min in this world and in the afterlife. Fakhr, iftikhar, a matter of pride. A matter of pride. That is fakhr. Izzat is esteem, repute, his rank, his worth. Says there are three things. Three things which are the iftikhar, the pride, and the izzat, and the status, and the martabat, and the maqam, and the manzilat of a mu'min in this world and the hereafter. These three things determine all his position and rank. Out of the three, I'm going to pick up just one of them, and that is the first one. But the sixth Imam, after saying these three things, says, now I will tell you what the three things are. The first of the things that he mentions, وَقِيَامُهُ بِاللَّيْلِ. Qiyamuhu, his rising up, bil-layl, in the darkness of the night, referring to Salatul Layl. Look, we are over here, and let's not lose focus of our topic, our discussion. The topic of our discussion is to identify and learn from the teachings of the Ahlul-bayt, those secrets and those mysteries that are going to sort out our dunya and our akhirat. There are mysteries, there are asrar, there are secrets which we are not aware of. But the holy Ahlul-bayt, by the knowledge, grace to them by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, do possess the knowledge and information of those things. And it's from their teachings we need to pull them out so that we don't keep complaining this world is a deadly place, this world is a problematic place. Because for every problem there is a key. Every key unlocks a problem. The problem with us is that we don't look for the keys, or at times if we even find the keys, we don't want to use it. One of the secrets of the universe for success in this world and the hereafter, Imam says, فَخْرٌ فَخْرُ الْمُؤْمِنِ وَعِزَّهُ فِي الدُّنْيَا وَالْآخِرَةِ. Iftikhar of a mu'min, izzat of a mu'min in this world and the hereafter, qiyamuhu bil-layl, his standing up for tahajjud, for salatul layl at night. And this concept of Salatul Layl is one thing that, yet you look at all the barnama, you look at all the programs of the Arafah, of those who have reached some rank in the eyes of God, in the position of God. Whether it is a ma'soom or a non-ma'soom, even a ma'soom, they cannot reach, or people cannot reach a rank in the eyes of God except that they leave the comforts of the bed in the darkness of the night, fight the sleep that has overcome them, get up to have a munajat and communication with God in the darkness of the night. Salatul Layl. And that is why you would find that Salatul Layl, while it is mustahab for us, was made wajib for the Holy Prophet. Just like namaz al-subh and maghrib and isha and dhuhr and asr are wajib upon us. Similarly, in addition to these 5 prayers, Salatul Layl was made wajib for the Holy Prophet, because he had to have that kind of spiritual boost in addition to what he already had to reach. Quran says, Maqama Mahmuda, a position where you would always be praised, which he did reach. And this Salatul Layl is something that any position, spiritual rank, closeness to God, and this is what we're discussing. وَالَّذِينَ جَاهَدُوا فِينَا, whoever endeavors to come close to us. A person cannot envisage, cannot conceive to come close to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala spiritually without Salatul Layl, without Namaz al-Shab. Sayyid Qadi, Marhum Sayyid Qadi Mirza Qadi Tabatabai, that Arif without parallel, Bila Nadir, the teacher of Allama Tabatabai, the teacher of Ayatullah Bihjat, the teacher of Ayatullah Jawadi Amri, the teacher of Ayatullah Tehrani. All these Urafa, the teachers of all of these teachers, go back to Sayyid Qadi Tabatabai, a man of amazing Jalilul Qadr rank, Sahib Karamat, supernatural acts, because of the maqam. One day Allama Tabatabai is narrating that once when he had moved to the Hawza in Najaf, And he was standing during break or in lunchtime outside the door of his madrasa in Najaf. He happened to see Agha Qazi Tabatabai passing by. Now, Allama Tabatabai had an ajib or gharib affinity towards Sayyid Qadi Tabatabai, to such an extent that he would keep mourning him 3 decades after Sayyid Qadi Tabatabai passed away. Says, I was standing near the door and Sayyid Qadi Tabatabai passes by. As he's passing by the road, he sees me, he comes to me, places his hand upon my shoulder and says, my son, you want dunya, Salatul Layl. You want akhirah, Salatul Layl. You cannot reach anywhere in dunya except with Salatul Layl. You cannot reach anywhere in akhirah except with Salatul Layl. You want barakah in the life of this world, Salatul Layl, Namaz al-Shab. You want barakah in the life of the akhirat, Salatul Layl, Namaz al-Shab. And today I'm going to give you a few examples of when Sayyid Qadi Tabatabai tells Allama Tabatabai, you want dunya, Salatul Layl, you want akhirah, Salatul Layl. Show you how it is manifested in the traditions of the Ma'sumin. Obviously, that's from where Sayyid Qadi has taken these inspirations and inspirational words from. The Riwayat says, looking for dunya. You want dunya, Salatul Layl. How? One of the fundamental problems that we face in our lives is the problem of livelihood. Nothing is ever sufficient for us, because the taba', the nature, the disposition of man is he keeps wanting more and more. And this concept of livelihood, this notion of increasing livelihood is always everybody's concern. Riwayat tells us Salatul Layl, one of the characteristics. Now, there are almost 70 plus benefits of Salatul Layl. You've heard it. But today I want to just take you on a different tangent. In addition to explaining to this, a few other points that are associated that which I need to present before you. Asrar we need to find out. Secrets of the divine nature that are there to sort out our dunya and akhirah. One of the problems we have in dunya is that of livelihood. Riwayat tell us, I'm going to cherry pick a few out of those 70 plus benefits of Salatul Layl, just so that which we can practice on a normal basis and would not consume too much time, because there are a lot of other things we need to discuss tonight and in the subsequent nights. This Riwayat says, Salatul Layl tajlibur rizq. The words are ajiba. It says, Salatul Layl, the Namaz al-Shab, tajlibur rizq. Tajlib comes from the word jalb. Jalb means to attract. Not bring down, but to attract, to pull down. Tajlib, pull down. So Salatul Layl, one of its characteristics, it's not that it will just increase your risk. It will pull down the risk from the treasures of the treasure troves of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala from the skies. Tajlib. At times you pray, you get the rewards, you get increase in sustenance, fair enough. But this serves as a magnet. You see, when there's a magnet, how it pulls the magnetic material and causes it to stick to itself. One of the characteristics of Salatul Layl is it pulls down the risk, pulls down in great measure. And that is why you would find individuals who are constantly with Salatul Layl would always have so much barakah in their life that whatever money they've got, little it may appear to be, but Allah puts so much barakah that they are much more satisfied and contented and are able to fulfill their needs with this little amount because of the barakah that has been added by God, as opposed to those individuals who have a lot of money but without barakah, most of that money goes into things that do not benefit them. Health problems, litigations, domestic problems, full on. The real sense and the core and the word and the benefit of sustenance and a good sustenance is it should satisfy your needs and fulfill your needs so that you don't have to keep asking and begging others for help. Barakah does that, and this is what Salatul Layl does. Not only does it pull down the risk, but it puts so much barakah that whatever comes down is more than enough for an individual. Said Qadi Tabatabai said, you want dunya, Salatul Layl. This is one aspect of dunya. He also said, if you want akhirah, Salatul Layl. Look how Salatul Layl helps out in the akhirah. If you remember that incident about our fourth Imam Zainul Abidin alayhi salatu wassalam. And one day Imam Sajjad was weeping. The companions see him weeping profusely. So they turned to him and says, Yabna Rasulullah, lima tabki? Why do you cry? What is it? What has happened that's making you cry? And the Imam with tearful eyes turns to them and says, Well, lima la abki? And why should I not cry? And he goes on into that long hadith when he says, Abki li dhulmati qabri. I weep when I think of the darkness of my qabr. Abki li wahdati fi lahdi. I fear when I find myself and I think that I will be alone in my grave. Abki li khuruji uryanan min qabri hamilan thiqli ala dhahri. I weep when I'm thinking and I'm contemplating and I'm looking to that incident when I will be brought out of my grave without any clothes, only carrying the burdens of my sin upon my back. Turning left, there will be no helper. Lima la abki. Why should I not cry? The first sentence that I said, Imam says, Abki lidhulmati qabri. I weep when I think that I will be going to a place that will be so dark and so constrained and so isolated and so gloomy and so desolate. Thinking of that particular scenario, I'm weeping. Riwayat says, Salatul Layl Sirajun li sahibiha fi dhulmatil qabr. The same reason that Imam was crying for, to highlight and draw our attention that, listen my friends, there will be a time that you will be going into a place that is so constrained, so dark, so gloomy, so desolate and so isolated that other than you and your amal, there will be nobody. And that will be the time, that will be the place, it will be dhulmat qabri, it will be dark and gloomy, there will be nothing you'll be able to see. Riwayat says, Salatul Layl Sirajun li sahibiha fi dhulmatil qabr. A person who recites and who has been reciting Salatul Layl, this Salatul Layl will personify itself, embody itself in the form of Noor to come into that gloomy, dark, desolate and isolated place, to fill it up with Noor and light, to make it salubrious in terms of living and environment. Sirajun li sahibiha fi dhulmatil qabr. The same reason Imam was crying, this is giving us a solution for it. Imam is drawing our attention to this darkness of the grave. This tradition comes and says, now that you have focused that this is going to happen, Salatul Layl, which will then sort out your problems. Point number 2. Merit number 2. Merit number 3. One of the very important aspects about Salatul Layl that the Rawat have mentioned is, it is an amazing protection of an individual and for an individual from the opposition or the enmity of foes and enemies. In today's world, hasad, jealousy, envy is rampant, whether within our community or outside the community. And that's why we always say, Najar lagi gayi thi. We've become a victim of evil eye, najar, bad eye, evil omen. People keep talking about it. This is one of the ways to protect oneself from all of these, and specifically the dangers and the perils and the harms of foes and enemies, is Salatul Layl. And how it needs to be done is also the sixth Imam has mentioned. A companion of the Holy Prophet living in Kufa once for some reason had to come to Medina. When he comes to Medina, he goes to meet the sixth Imam. He goes to meet Imam Sadiq alayhi salam. In the course of the talk, he says, Yabna Rasulullah, I need your help. I need your help. So Imam says, what is it that you need help for? This person says, Yabna Rasulullah, I live in a colony that is bordering between the Shiites and those who are harboring animosity towards the Shiites. And I'm within the periphery of those individuals on the borderline somehow. And I've got a neighbor who's taken it upon himself to always promote and advertise my Shiism. The fact that I'm a Shi'i, the fact that I'm a Shia, to such an extent that even when I go past his house, he will come out and says, Ya ayyuhan nas, O people, hadha rafidi, this is a Shia. As a result of which, I find myself imperiled, in danger, because those individuals openly announcing this makes me fall a victim to some harm by these individuals who are animus towards you and your family. And this individual not only says Hada Rafidi, this is a Shia, a Rafidi, but he also announces he is a person who takes all his money and gives it to Ja'far ibn Muhammad, whom he considers as the Imam. Ma'am, I fear for my life, I fear for my family, for my household. Imam says, recite Namaz al-Shab. And in Namaz al-Shab, do as I tell you, and you will see the result. It says, Yabna Rasulullah, enlighten me. It says in the 11 rakats of Namaz al-Shab that you recite, in the second sajda of the first 2 rakat namaz. We know Namaz al-Shab, 11 rakat is 2 rakat, 2 rakat, 2 rakat, 2 rakat. That's 8 rakats. Just like morning prayers. 2 rakat Namaz al-Shaf'a and 1 rakat Namaz al-Witr. He says the first 2 rakat namaz of the 11 rakats of Namaz al-Shab, when you go into the second sajda after reciting the dhikr of the second sajda, do the dua to Allah to protect you from the enemies that you've got, or this particular enemy that you've got, and to remove his shar and to remove his evil and ward that evil away from you. Do this and you will see the result. He says, I took this information, I started to go back to Kufa. Now Imam was in Medina, I had to go to Kufa, but because he had given me the prescription, he has given me the nuskha. On my journey en route to home and on the way back home, I would pass several nights, Medina in Saudi Arabia, Kufa in Iraq, a long distance to travel. It says during the course of the journey, I started implementing it. Every night, Namaz al-Shab, in the second sajda of the first 2 rakat namaz of Namaz al-Shab, after the dhikr, I would pray to God, Allah, ward the evil of this man away from me. Ward him away from me, turn him away and distance him from me so that I'm protected from his harms. He says, I entered Kufa, go into the house, after looking and seeking and knowing whether my family members were okay, I casually inquired, how is that neighbor with you guys? How has he been with you? To my surprise, my wife said to me, he's fallen sick. And he's very sick. Just very recently, 2, 3, 4 days ago, he fell sick. 2, 3, 4 days ago? That's recent? He says, yes, he was okay. All of a sudden, 3, 4 days ago, he fell sick. And he says, before the day was out, there was a loud mourning and crying from the house of that neighbor of his, only to find out that that individual had passed away from this world. Namaz al-Shab, Salatul Layl, Dunya Salatul Layl you want. Akhirat you want Salatul Layl. But the amazing thing over here is exactly what happened in Ayatul Kursi. These are amazing things. Look, there are things that we don't realize how they play a role in the world of existence. The same sixth Imam who is given the importances of and significances of Salatul Layl also gives us a warning. He says, be careful that despite all the benefits that you know that have come from the family of ours, understand one thing, a word of caution. Be alert for one thing. And that thing is that the sixth Imam in his tradition narrates. It says, whoever offers and prays Namaz al-Shab, adheres and is adherent to a regular and consistent recitation of Namaz al-Shab, offering of Namaz al-Shab, all those 72 benefits will accrue to him, including these 3 that we've mentioned. But he said this tawfiq of Namaz al-Shab is taken away from one individual. An individual who lies. A person who lies, the tawfiq of Namaz al-Shab and Salatul Layl is taken away from him. Then he cannot pray. Either he gets too tired to get up, or laxity and lackadaisical nonchalance, just plain laziness. The heart does not want, the body does not move. But that person will be left bereft of the bounty and the tawfiq of reciting Salatul Layl, as a result of which not reciting Salatul Layl will leave him bereft of all the 72 odd bounties and benefits that get accrued for an individual who offers Namaz al-Shab. You realize just yesterday we spoke about Ayatul Kursi, and the same aspect comes. A person who recites, a person who lies, God takes away the tawfiq for him to recite Ayatul Kursi with all its benefits that we discussed. Same thing is repeated over here. A person who lies, tawfiq of offering Namaz al-Shab is taken away, leaving him bereft and deprived of all the benefits of Salatul Layl. Brothers and sisters, this lying is not a joke. This lying is not a small thing. Even lying in joke and fun and jest is haram and has to be refrained from, is abominable and loathsome and has to be refrained from. There is no such thing as a white lie. A lie is a lie. There's no such thing that, oh, I'm just playing around with my child. I will get you this toy as I come back from work today, just to make him stop crying. When you come home, you don't bring the toy. Why didn't you bring the toy? Oh, I was just trying to calm him down. But in trying to calm him down, you have said something that is contrary to reality. You did not want to bring the toy. You told him you would bring the toy. You have not brought the toy. This is contrary to reality and a lie, irrespective of whether it is a 5-year-old child that we are speaking to, which is untrue, a fact that is contrary to reality, or you're talking to an adult, makes no difference. The responsibility and the onus is upon us. The Shariat is upon us. The taklif of the rules, following of the rules and obligations is upon us, not upon the other side, whether it's a child or an elderly person. You or I lie, say something that is contrary to the truth, is considered to be lie, irrespective of who the other person is. Yes, I know nowadays the world is now getting accustomed to something which is called alternative truths or alternative facts. But that doesn't change. Changing the name, changing the terminology doesn't change the concept. Alternative truth or alternative facts are still untruths and lies as opposed to realities. But having understood that, today I want to just curtail that discussion over here. Primarily because today is the Shab of the 8th of Muharram. And the Shab of the 8th of Muharram is Hazrat Abul Fadl al-Abbas. Honestly, between you and me, every year once Ashura finishes, the Ashura is gone, the peak, the crescendo of our passion finishes, Sham-e Ghariba finishes, and everybody is now looking, eyes fixated towards the next year. When will the next Ashura come? All waiting for the next Ashura now. Till Muharram comes, and then everybody's happy. Now we've got a chance to once again officially in the Ayyam Aza do the Aza of Hussein ibn Ali alayhi salam. But tell me one thing, once Muharram starts, we've been waiting for Ashura. From the last year we've been waiting. After the Ashura and Sham-e Ghariba of last year, we're all waiting for the Ashura and Sham-e Ghariba of this year. But tell me, once Muharram starts and the Ayyam Azah starts, once Muharram starts, before Ashura, we look forward for one more night. One more night we really look forward to. The night of Hadrat Abul Fadl al-Abbas, tonight. This is the night. There's some ajib charisma in Abul Fadl al-Abbas. There's some ajib charisma. He just seems to take over our hearts. You have people who say, I've got an inclination towards a particular Imam more than that particular Imam. Some people have more inclination towards the 8th Imam as opposed to the other Imam. Some have more inclination towards the 3rd Imam as opposed to the other Imam. Some to the 1st Imam as opposed to the other Imams. Affinity, inclination of individual preferences and liking. Respect everybody, follow everybody, but a little more love towards that particular Imam. But Abbas is somebody that everybody falls over him. There's something about him. There's something about him that you just can't ignore him. You can't turn your back to him. You can't turn away. He's always there in our hearts. You can't just turn him down. But don't be surprised about this, because it's not just you and me who's feeling this, that you can't turn Abbas down, because God does not turn Abbas down. Ajab sentence I'm saying. Ajab sentence I'm saying. God does not turn Abbas down. Look at this incident and you will know. Ayatollah Sheikh Murtada Ashtiyani. He died around 30-40 years ago. He was one of those individuals in the earlier part of revolution, much before the revolution of Imam Khomeini, who stood up against this Imam Khomeini stood up against Muhammad Raza Pahlavi. Ayatollah Sheikh Murtaza Ashtiani stood up against his father, Raza Khan, Raza Shah Pahlavi. When Raza Shah Pahlavi went to Turkey to meet Ataturk, the founder of secular Turkey, he was very impressed at all the modernization and removal of all the religious nature of Turkey. And he comes back and he says, I want to emulate Turkey. Look how he's removed all religion from the system. He removed religiosity from the system, made it secular, made it modern. I want to do that. And first thing I will do is replicate what Kemal Ataturk did. What did he do? He banned the wearing of hijab. He comes over here, Raza Khan, and in January of 1936 passes a bill outlawing and banning hijab in the public places. Bill called Kashf Hijab, removal of hijab. It created a furor, and he would use strong arm tactics to make sure that this is implemented. Police were moving in the streets, pulling out scarves and the chadars from the heads of ladies who were wearing chadar. There would be a huge mountain at the edge of every street, forcibly removed. 8 people, one of them 8 ulama, one of them Ayatollah Sheikh Murtaza Ashtiani, a very prominent and influential figure, alim, scholar. They wrote to Raza Khan protesting against it and writing a letter that we don't agree to what you're doing. You need to revoke it back. And that entire movement had their base in Masjid al-Gawhar Shad in the Haram of Imam Rida alayhi salam. You know, Masjid al-Gawhar Shad is one of the masjids within the Haram of Imam Rida alayhi salam. And then Raza Khan sent his military, and inside the Haram, inside Masjid al-Gawhar Shad, that mal'oon fired and bullets killing so many of those people. And then he passed orders that those 8 people who were at the forefront of this movement to protest my bill, 7 of them needs to be arrested. He just left one person out because of his rank, his maqam, his charisma, his personality, his taqwa, his piety. And that 8th person who was left unarrested, not arrested, was Ayatollah Sheikh Murtaza Ashtiani. Now, he is narrating this incident. Many times you need to go back to highlight certain things to realize the authenticity of what is being said. This Sheikh, Ayatollah Sheikh Murtaza Ashtiani, is narrating this, saying, I've heard this incident from a friend of mine by the name of Sheikh Jalil. Sheikh Jalil is mentioning this incident. He's saying, and this incident is the incident in Karbala. Ya Abul Fadl. Incident in Karbala. In Karbala, there's a family by the name, in those times, a family by the name of Al-Kabba, a very prominent dynasty, a family, massive family. The head of that family was a man, a tajir, a businessman, affluent, wealthy, philanthropist, khayyar, very well known in the locality in Karbala, very popular because of his rank, his money, his affluence, his philanthropy, his khairat, his fulan. Ayatollah Sheikh Jalil is, now Ayatollah Ashtiani is narrating what Sheikh Jalil is saying. The Sheikh Jalil says this particular individual, the head of the Al-Kabba family, had only one son. With all his affluence, with all his philanthropy, one son, a young son, who happens to fall sick. And sick how? The sickness deteriorated, his health deteriorated, his sickness increased to such an extent that now he's in the state of ihtidar, about to die. The father loses everything. The mother loses everything. The mother was an Alawiya. Now when everybody's hands go short with the means that they have, then in Karbala, who do they turn to? One of the first person that they turn to is Abul Fadl Abbas. This Sheikh Jalil is saying, and look how the entire thing transpires. Listen to this. This mother realizes the son, she's about to lose the son. And both of them reacting differently. The Alawiya says, my son is dying, I need to go to Abul Fadl. So she rushes to the Haram. Now it was nightfall, sometime near Maghrib. At night, little after Maghrib, after namaz, you know, it's only Imam Rida's Haram that remains open 24 hours. Those Harams tend to close down. So she goes to that to the supervisor of the haram and pleads. He says, please, tonight let me do baytuta. Let me pass the night with Abul Fadl. I need to pass my night with Abul Fadl. He says, no, it's not possible, Khanam. He says, look, I am the wife of Fulan. You know him? He says, yes, I know him. He helps out so much, philanthropist, and helps out the haram and helps so many people, a good person. He says, I'm his wife. Says, but why do you want to stay in the haram? He says, my son is about to die. I need Abul Fadl to help me. When he realizes the gravity, he tells the other khadimin, he says, let this lady stay inside, lock the door, keep her inside, and keep watch in case she needs to come out, be there to help her. The Alawi lady goes inside. Inside, tabassul. Ya Abul Fadl. Ya Abul Fadl. Ya Abul Fadl. The whole night she's doing ibadat over there. The whole night she's doing tawassul over there. The whole night she's... The husband over here now is in a different world. He has lost all. He's just lost it. He comes into his courtyard of the house, massive house, comes into the courtyard, beating his chest, beating his head. I'm losing my son, tearing his hair apart. One son, a young son in the early 20s, about to go away. It's not a joke. Now Sheikh Jalil is saying, at that particular time of the scenario that's unfurling, I was unaware of. I had just entered into Karbala for the ziyarat. I had entered into the Karbala for the ziyarat. I had entered into Karbala because he lived in that same locality. So he says, I entered into Karbala. It's in the vicinity he was living. He says, I come over there, I go to my resting place, and I am absolutely unaware of what's happening. I just come inside Karbala. I go to my room, I shower, I refresh, tired after the travel. I go off to sleep. Now listen. It says, as I go to sleep, I see in my dreams that I'm in the haram of Imam Hussein alayhi salam. Bain al-haramain, from here to there. It says, I'm in the haram of Imam Hussein alayhi salam. But ajab scenario I'm seeing. It says, I'm seeing that I'm into the haram of Imam Hussein alayhi salam, and the scenario is entirely different. These people, Zahirin, Fulan, nothing of the sort. The crowd is still there. The rushing is still there. Hussein is still there, and the ziyarat is still there. But it's not the people. It says, I saw the haram teeming with angels. From the floor to the skies to wherever my eyes could go, all filled with angels. And next to the haram, next to the wari of Imam Hussein alayhi salam, on a bench was seated Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Standing next to him was Amirul Mu'mineen Ali ibn Abi Talib salawatullahi wa salamu alayhi. Now Sheikh Jalil saying, I'm watching this in my dreams and I'm surprised. Haram of Imam Hussein teeming with angels, all at the beck and call of the man at the center of the universe, the Holy Prophet, and the second best creation of God, Amirul Mu'mineen. And all of a sudden I'm wondering, what is happening? What is happening? Why have they gathered? What is the occasion? But all of a sudden, something is happening. All of a sudden, I see an angel enter the haram and go straight to the Holy Prophet. After the initial formality, Salamun alaykum ya Rasulullah, wa alaykum salam, fulan. It says, Ya Rasulullah, I have come from the haram of Hadrat Abbas. And Abul Fadl has sent me with a message to give to you. He says, yes, what is it? He says, Hadrat Abbas has said to me to tell you, Ya Rasulullah, this Alawi lady is in my haram and she is doing baytuta, passing the night. Her son is about to die and she is seeking my tawassul to give the life back to the son. Ya Rasulullah, please pray to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala so that He may grant him shifa and grant him an extended life, so that this lady is addressing me as Ya Abul Fadl, Ya Bab al-Hawaij. Can you please pray to Allah so that Allah gives him shifa and extends his life? As soon as the Holy Prophet hears this, he raises his hands. Raising his hands, after some time, he closes his eyes, looks down, opens his eyes, and tells the angel, says, look, tell Abul Fazl, tell Abbas, this cannot be done. His time is up and he has to go away. His life will terminate shortly and nothing can be done. The angel goes away. Now Sheikh Jalil is saying, I'm watching this. You remember this being narrated by Sheikh Murtada Ashtiani, Ayatollah Sheikh Murtada Ashtiani. Saying, Sheikh Jalil says, I was watching, I'm wondering what is happening. This angel had come, asked him, and says, I didn't know who this lady was. I just heard them, that there is this Alawi lady. I didn't know who that lady was, who the child was. I'm just hearing that this lady is there and this angel is talking. Says, after some time, again I see that angel come back. The Prophet says, now what is it? Says, Hazrat Abbas has repeated his request to you and asked you to please pray to God, because she is invoking me as Babul Hawaij and I need to help her. Could you please pray to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala so that Allah grants him a shifa? A second request from Abul Fazl, Hazrat Abbas. The Prophet raises his hands again, closes his eyes, after some time opens his eyes and says, look, I cannot do anything. This is the Mashiach of God, this is the will of God that has been decreed and ordained that tonight this child has to die. This boy will die. Go tell this to Abbas that nothing can be done. This angel goes. Now Sheikh Jalil is watching. Saying, I kept watching, all of a sudden I'm seeing a flutter taking place amongst the angels. As if they are moving around to accommodate something, giving way. And what do I see? That now entering the haram, subhanallah, now entering the haram is Abbas himself, Hadrat Abul Fadl al-Abbas coming. But Sheikh Jalil is, when he's narrating this, he's saying, I saw Hadrat Abbas himself entering, and as he entered, the angel started moving around, started to part ways, moved around to give him a corridor. Hadrat Abbas coming now. All the angels moved. Hazrat Abbas comes, and Sheikh Jalil says, I looked at him and ajab, I saw Hazrat Abbas coming in the same state that he was when he died in Karbala. Head bearing the injury of the sword that fell on his head, body from head to toe covered in blood, no hands because the hands severed, body in complete injury, blood flowing, blood all around. Enters into the haram, stands up before the Holy Prophet, says, Ya Rasulullah, I have come personally to you. This Alawi lady has been with me. She's belonged to our family. She's been with me for the entire night now. And she's just put her entire hopes upon me. And she keeps telling me, Dakhilaka ya Abul Fadl. She keeps telling me, Ya Babul Hawaij, O door to the Hajats. You are the Babul Hawaij, how can you turn me back? Ya Rasulullah, please pray to Allah that He gives her the child the shafa. Rasulullah tells Hazrat Abbas, Abbas, his time has come up. Allah has said that it's been ordained that he has to die. At that time, Sheikh Jalil says, I heard Hazrat Abbas say something. Probably his entire body is now standing up, the hair on the body standing up. He turns to Rasulullah and says, Ya Rasulullah, convey to Allah one point, one request. Tell Allah that either He gives shifa to that lady's son who's calling me by the name of Babul Hawaij, or take away the title of Babul Hawaij from me and never call me again Babul Hawaij. Because it is this title of Babul Hawaij that has been given to me by God, which my followers and muhibbeen and my Alawi family members are using to seek tawassul and wasila from me for their problems. Either Allah gives him the shafa and gives him an extended life, or He takes away this laqab of Abul Fadl al-Babul Hawaij from me. As soon as Hazrat Abbas says this, Sheikh Jalil says, I saw tears were swelling up into the eyes of Rasulullah. Rasulullah Khuda up to now was sitting down, now he stands up. But he stands up and says something. He turns to Ali and says, Ali, I need your help. I need you to support me. I am raising my hands in dua to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Come help me, join me. You too raise your hands and help me with your duas as well. He raises his hands and turns to God and says, Ya Allah, Abbas is saying, either please give the child the shifa and extend his life because of the tawassul that Alawi lady is taking because of Abbas, or you take away the title of Babul Hawaij from Abbas. Hardly had the words of the Rasulullah finished when Sheikh Jalil says, I saw an angel descend from the skies. He was very different to the angels that were sitting over there in the presence. This angel comes down, stands before Rasulullah, gives him the salam to him, to Amirul Mu'mineen. Then he says, Ya Rasulullah, Allah has said, tell Abbas, I have given shafa to the child. I cannot take back the laqab of Babul Hawaj from Abbas. I will change my decree. I will change my orders. I will change my decision. And this person was supposed to die, but Babul Hawaj is so close to me, I can't turn away. This laqab will remain with Abbas not only now, but will remain forever and ever. I will change the destiny of that child. I have given the child shafa. Tell Abbas he will continue to remain Babul Hawaj. Sheikh Jalil says, as soon as I saw this, I got up. It was time for sahar. I did my tahajjud. I made my prayer, my morning prayers. And then I tried to find out, I make inquiries as to who this lady is. I found out that she was that wife of that leader, the family, the head of the Al-Kabba family. Finding out the address, I went to the family, and cutting matters short, Sheikh Jalil says, I found out the son who was on the verge of death is now so hale and hearty that it never appeared that he had even fallen sick. This is the Abul Fadl al-Abbas Babul Hawaj that we are talking about. You just can't turn away from him, because God does not turn away from Abul Fadl al-Abbas. But the entire life of Abbas is just out of this world. His wiladat, his shahadat, his whatever is in between. Because you know why? Because he was caught. He was body and soul to Hussein ibn Ali. He was body and soul to Hussein ibn Ali, Aba Abdullah. You know, when Abbas was born, normally what happens? Child is born, begins to weep, eyes open, looks around. When Abbas was born, al-Banin takes the child in the arms, the eyes of Abbas doesn't open his eyes. People come around, want to hold it, doesn't open the eyes. Amirul Mu'mineen was in Masjid al-Nabi. Word is sent out to Amirul Mu'mineen, al-Banin has delivered Abbas. Amirul Mu'mineen comes, he sees the child, but sees signs of concern on the face of al-Banin. Says, Ya al-Banin, why are you've got Abbas with you now? Why are you crying? Why are you looking concerned? He says, no, there's nothing much, but I'm just a little worried. He says, why? He says, since the time this child has been born, he doesn't open his eyes. He's not opened his eyes. Probably if you take it in your arms, he might open his eyes. Ali takes Abbas in the arms, Abbas doesn't open his eyes. Now al-Banin even more worried. al-Banin, I as a mother, I can understand. Others, I can understand. Zainab takes the child, I can understand. Hassan takes the child, I can understand. And Abbas doesn't open the eyes. But Amirul Mu'mineen, the father, takes the child and Abbas doesn't open. Now al-Banin worried. More worried. But to all of a surprise, she sees Amirul Mu'mineen's face, he's smiling. Says, Ya Amirul Mu'mineen, Ya Mawla, I'm worried, why are you smiling? He's not opening his eyes. Amirul Mu'mineen says, I know why he's not opening his eyes. He will open his eyes. He will open his eyes. Wait for a minute. And all of a sudden Amirul Mu'mineen calls out, where is Hussein, my son? Call my son Hussein. Hussein comes, yes Baba, you've called me. Amirul Mu'mineen says, Hussein, I'm giving you the gift of your younger brother Abbas. Rawat says, as soon as Abbas goes into the hands of Hussein, up to now the eyes of Abbas that were closed now opens up, and the first glance, the look, and the first thing that Abbas witnesses coming into this world is the face, and the Mubarak face and the holy face of Hussein ibn Ali. al-Banin satisfied, my son has opened the eyes. Keep this in mind and park this, because this has got such an intrinsic relationship to the last moments of Abbas's life. Abbas is the shadow of Hussein. The only thing is, he's always with Hussein. But unlike a shadow, when a person sits, a shadow sits. When Hussein would sit, Abbas would never sit. He was a shadow, was a complete servant of Abu Abdullah al-Hussein. Time goes, Abbas grows up. Time reaches till he reaches Shab Ashur. Shab Ashur takes place on the day of Ashur. On the day of Ashur, the battle begins. It's fast forwarding everything. On the day of Ashur, the battle begins. Every time a person would die from the Bani Hashim and the Lasha would come, Abbas would come to Imam Hussein alayhi salam. Oh Sayyidi, allow me to go. And every time Hussein would say, I cannot allow you to go. But Sayyidi, why would you not allow me to go, Mawla? This is because you are my standard bearer, you're my flag bearer, you're the commander of my army. Till such time that On goes, comes back dead, Muhammad goes, comes back dead, Qasim goes, comes back dead, Ali Akbar goes, comes back dead. Now when the lash of Ali Akbar comes, Abbas cannot bear it. He goes to Imam Hussein alayhi salam, folds his hands and says, Sayyidi, I cannot take it anymore. These are all my students. I taught them how to fight. They've gone and become martyred, and I, the teacher, am still alive. I can't carry these lashas, not because of the weight. I can't carry these lashas anymore. Let me go. And Imam says, no, you cannot. You're still the commander of my army. Abbas turns to Hussein and says, Mawla, where is your army? When? Where is your army? Everybody's gone. Everyone is gone. Head lowered, he comes out. He comes out, he sees, as he comes out, a small little girl, 4 years, Sakina, comes running, holds her uncle. His uncle, we are very thirsty. The thirst is killing us, not only me and all the other kids. And they're all telling me, Sakina, you've got an uncle like Abul Fadl al-Abbas. Can he not procure for us some water? Uncle, please get some water for me and for the other kids. He takes up Sakina into his arms, says, you have to do me one favor. If you want water, you need to help me out. He says, what? He says, recommend to your father, to Imam Hussein, to Sayyidi, that I go to the battlefield. He says, is that it? Come on, I will take you right now. Sakina in the arms, Abbas enters Hussein's tent. As soon as Hussein sees Sakina, he realizes what is going to happen. He says, Sakina, don't tell me anything. I know what you're going to say. I will send Abbas to get water for you, but remember, Sakina, this recommendation for which you're coming over, you're going to regret it. You will regret it, and you will pray you had never come to my tent to seek permission for your uncle to go to fetch water. Abbas, go, I'm giving you permission, but no fighting. Abbas, happy, puts on that warrior is now into his elements. He gets onto his horse right now to go into the Mashra, to the Furat. He goes inside, tears the entire army like lightning. Nobody dares stand up before him. Reaches the water, bends down, fills up the water skin. At that time he picks up little water in his hand. Picks up the water in his hands, turns towards Najaf, throws it back down. I don't know what he must be looking in Najaf for, but I remember one incident that took place on the 21st of Ramadan in the year when Amir al-Mu'mineen passed away. When he had spoken to all his children, he told everybody to go back and asked Abbas, Abbas, come near. Abbas comes near, Ali says, come more near. Abbas comes near, Ali says, come more near, bend down so that your ears are towards my mouth. Abbas bends down. At that time, Ali says, Ya Abbas, إذا كان يوم عاشوراء, when the day of Ashura will come, when you will have control over the water of Furat, you have control over the water of Furat. Do not لا تشرب الماء وأخيك الحسين عطشانا. Do not drink the water for so long as your brother Hussein is thirsty. Probably having reached the water of the Furat, of the Euphrates, he must have picked up the water to show to Amir al-Mu'mineen, oh Baba, I have conquered the water, but your wasiyat I have not forgotten. I can drink, but my master Hussein is thirsty. thirsty, I will not drink the water. Throws the water, takes the water skin, goes onto the horse, and now he's returning back to the tent. But between going and coming, there's been a lot of difference. Because when he was going towards the Euphrates to collect the water, the intention was to obliterate anything that comes in the way. And so he went like lightning, tearing through the army. But now when he's coming back, there is no such thing. The entire focus and hum and gham is to protect the water for Sakina. There is no scope for fighting. The scope is only to protect the water skin so that I can take this water to Sakina. Because now there is no resistance, people start coming from all sides. A time comes when one Shaqi hits an arm, the arm gets severed. Abbas now handles the water skin on the other hand. Another Shaqi comes, another blow, the second arm gets severed. Now Abbas is holding the water skin between his chest and the neck of the horse. One Shaqi, one member of the enemy, one Ravi is saying, I was seeing Abbas, he was being hit by spears, he was being hit by rocks, but there was some taqat, there was some strength, there was some qudrat, there was some power that was not allowing him to drop down to the ground. Abbas was just not falling off the horse. Numerous arrows that came, numerous blows that came, but Abbas was not falling down. I was wondering, what is the strength and qudrat that is keeping Abbas on the horse? Till I saw the water skin between the neck of the horse and the chest of Abbas, and I realized this is the strength of Abbas. I took out the arrow, took an aim, let the arrow fly. The arrow hits the water skin, the water spills over, and with the spilling of the water spills the hope of Abul Fadl al-Abbas. The water flows. Abbas looks at the flowing water. A picture of Sakina comes into his mind. As the water flows down, Abbas turns the direction of the horse away from the tent. There is no need to go to the tent. The water is gone. What will I show Sakina? What will I give Sakina? The tent is not my place. He turns the horse. Horse turns. No arms. One Shaqi comes with a massive iron rod. Lands the blow upon the head of Abbas. Abbas now is unable to hold himself on the horse. Together with the water of Sakina, the energy of Abbas is gone. Abbas totters and falls down, hits the ground, but no hands to support Abbas as he falls down. But as he falls down, he calls out, Sayyidi alayka minni salam. Doesn't call for help for Hussein. Knows Hussein is tired. Just says, oh my Aqa, oh my master, accept salams of your servant. Hussein hears, rushes forward. As he's going forward, Ravi says, as soon as Abbas says, alayka minni salam, Hussein rises. Hussein rushes to the battlefield. Ravi says, at a little distance, I saw Hussein lower himself, pick up something, kiss it, put it on his head, goes forward. At the second time, lowers himself, picks up something, kisses it, puts it on his head. Ravi says, I thought probably some verses of the Quran, some pages of the Quran lying on the ground that he's picking up. I said, I want to see what it is. As he goes there, what does he see? No verses of the Quran, no pages of the Quran, several arms of Abbas. Several arms of Abbas that had fallen down. Hussein picks up. These were the arms that was for the entire life served me. These were the arms that were giving me water. These were the arms that would put me onto the horse. These were the arms that spent their entire lives in my service. Goes to Abbas. What does he see? Abbas is onto the ground, hands severed. In one eye there is an arrow. In the other eye, the blood dripping from the head is gone into the eye. Abbas senses Hussein close by. He turns to Imam Hussein and says, Sayyidi, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. There's never been a time that you have come to me and I've not stood up. But situations do not allow me to stand up. I don't have hands. I don't have the strength to get up. You will find it in your heart to forgive me. Hussein is weeping. Hussein is crying. Abbas says, Sayyidi, one favor could you do me, please? One favor. If I had hands, I would not have told this to you. But could you do me one favor? Imam Hussein says, Abbas, tell me what you want to say. Abbas says, oh Akka, when I was born, the first person's face that I saw was yours. As I'm going now, I want yours to be the last face that I see. But I can't do that, because in one eye is an arrow and the other eye is blood. If you could be kind enough to clean the blood so that I can do ziyarat of your holy face. Hussein takes his rida, cleans the eyes. Abbas opens his eyes, looks at Hussein, gives a smile, and the ruh of Abbas goes away. Hussein holds his back. Al-an inkasar al-dhahri. My back is broken, my support is gone, I have nobody now to be hopeful for. Picks up the alam of Abbas, does not bring the body of Abbas. I didn't want to embarrass Abbas, I cannot take his body. Takes the alam, goes towards the tent. Sakina watches the alam coming. Oh children, come along, my chacha, my uncle is coming. But as the alam comes near, she sees there is no uncle. It's the father, Hussein ibn Ali, holding the alam. The alam has come, but the alam bardar, the flag bearer, is lying near the Euphrates. Hussein comes to the tent of Abbas, knocks it over. As he knocks it over, the ladies realize what has happened. They all rush forward. The matam begins. Va Abbasa, va musibata, va Abbasa. وسيعلم الذين ظلموا أي منقلب ينقلبون ألا ولعنة الله على القوم الظالمين.
قتل ہو گئے محشر ہوا بپا عباس قتل ہو گئے محشر ہوا بپا اب ختم ہے لڑائی علمدار چل بسا اب ختم ہے لڑائی علمدار چل بسا دوڑے امام کہتے ہوئے ہائے کیا ہوا عباس قتل ہو گئے محشر ہوا بپا عباس قتل ہو گئے پہنچے جو گرتے گرتے تو دیکھا یہ حال زار پہنچے جو گرتے گرتے تو دیکھا حال زار شان قلم ہے شیر ہے زخمی پڑا ہوا عباس قتل ہو گئے محشر ہوا بپا قتل ہو گئے. کیوں آنکھ کھول کر ہمیں تم دیکھتے نہیں؟ کیوں آنکھ کھول کر ہمیں تم دیکھتے نہیں؟ عباس بولے تیر ہے مولا لگا ہوا، عباس قتل ہو گئے. محشر ہوا بپا، عباس قتل ہو گئے. پیاسی سکینہ سے میں بہت شرمسار ہوں. پیاسی سکینہ سے میں بہت شرمسار ہوں. افسوس ہے کہ وعدہ نہ مجھ سے وفا ہوا. عباس قتل ہو گئے. محشر ہوا بپا، عباس قتل ہو گئے. اب ختم ہے لڑائی، علمدار چل بسا. اب ختم ہے لڑائی، علمدار چل بسا. دوڑے امام کہتے ہوئے ہائے کیا ہوا. سر پیٹ کے بولے حرم کا، سر پیٹ کے بولے حرم آیا علم عباس کا. سر پیٹ کے بولے حرم آیا عباس کا. پنجہ نظر جب آ گیا ہنس کر سکینہ نے کہا، بے آب تھے بے تاب ہم، آیا علم عباس کا. سر پیٹ کے بولے حرم آیا علم کا. مشکیزہ بنت شاہ کا چوبے علم سے ہے بندھا، کس شان سے اے اہل غم، آیا علم عباس کا. سر پیٹ کے
بیٹا ہے تو علی کا، زہرا کی تو دعا ہے، شبیر تیرا آقا ام البنین ماں ہے. ہر صورت و چلن میں حیدر سے نہ جدا ہے، کا حشر تجھ سے قائم دنیا میں بس صبا صبا تیرے علم کو تھامے ہر شخص کہہ رہا ہے مظلوم کربلا کا زینب کا واسطہ ہے پردیسی کوئی ایسا پردیس میں نہ اجڑے صدقے میں اس کے جس کا دربار لٹ گیا ہے عباس 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 اس وقت جب کہ زینب دربار میں گئی تھی قاری نمازیوں سے محفل سجی ہوئی تھی ظالم یہ پوچھتا تھا غازی تیرا کہاں ہے بالوں سے منہ چھپائے زینب یہ کہہ رہی تھی عباس 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 تقدیر کے ستائے تیرے در پہ سر جھکائے عشقوں کی التجا ہم غازی تجھے سنائے بیمار سارے باقے زخموں کا واسطہ ہے جس نے بھی خستہ دل ہے مولا شفا پائے عباس 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 دل کی مراد غازی تیرے علم سے پائے روتی ہوئی جو مائے تیرے علم پہ آئے زہرا کے درد پہلو کا دیتی ہے واسطہ فضا بھی کنیزی میں میرا بھی نام آئے عباس 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 شام غریبہ میں جس کا کرتا جل گیا ہے کانوں سے بالیاں بھی کشمیر لے گیا ہے اس بے بسی سے مولا بچی کوئی نہ در سے فرش عزا پہ ہو کر ہر دل یہ کہہ رہا ہے عباس 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 عباس
یا حسین یا حسین یا حسین یا حسین وفا تھی ان کے لیے اور یہ وفا کے لیے علی نے مانگا تھا غازی کو کربلا کے لیے وفا تھی ان کے لیے اور یہ وفا کے لیے علی نے مانگا تھا غازی کو کربلا کے لیے وفا تھی ان کے لیے اور یہ وفا کے لیے علی نے مانگا تھا غازی کو کربلا کے لیے حسین جھولا جھولاتے تھے ان کو یہ کہہ کر حسین جھولا جھولاتے تھے، ان کو یہ کہہ کر یہ کام آئیں گے زینب تیری ردا کے لیے، علی نے مانگا تھا غازی کو کربلا کے لیے، وفا تھی ان کے لیے اور یہ وفا کے لیے، علی نے مانگا تھا غازی کو کربلا کے لیے، نہ جانے کس لیے حیدر نے ان کے بازو کے، نہ جانے کس لیے حیدر نے ان کے بازو کے، ہزار بو سے گلے سے لگا لگا کے لیے، علی نے مانگا تھا غازی کو کربلا کے لیے، وفا تھی ان کے لیے اور یہ وفا کے لیے، علی نے مانگا تھا غازی کو کربلا کے لیے، جری کے پیروں کو چوما ہے روز عاشورا، جری کے پیروں کو چوما ہے روز عاشورا، یہ خوش نصیب رہی موجے الکما کے لیے، علی نے مانگا تھا غازی کو کربلا کے لیے، وفا تھی ان کے لیے اور یہ وفا کے لیے، علی نے مانگا تھا غازی کو کربلا کے لیے، یہ خضر راہ ہے پرچم بھی ان کا رہنما، یہ خضر راہ ہے پرچم بھی ان کا رہنما، سمندروں کے ستاروں کے اور ہوا کے لیے، علی نے مانگا تھا غازی کو کربلا کے لیے، وفا تھی ان کے لیے اور یہ وفا کے لیے، علی نے مانگا تھا غازی کو کربلا کے لیے، علم کے سائے میں آتے ہی مل گئی صحت، علم کے سائے میں آتے ہی مل گئی صحت، ترس رہے تھے کئی دن سے جو شفا کے لیے، علی نے مانگا تھا غازی کو کربلا کے لیے، وفا تھی ان کے لیے اور یہ وفا کے لیے، علی نے مانگا تھا غازی کو کربلا کے لیے، سکینہ بابا سے اذن وگا دلا ہو ہمیں، سکینہ بابا سے اذن وگا دلا ہو ہمیں، ذرا سا کام یہ کر دو فقط چچا کے لیے، علی نے مانگا تھا غازی کو کربلا کے لیے، وفا تھی ان کے لیے اور یہ وفا کے لیے، علی نے مانگا جاتا غازی کو کربلا کے لیے. لب فرات جو بازو قلم ہوئے ان کے، لب فرات جو بازو قلم ہوئے ان کے. بہت بڑا تھا یہ غم روح سیدہ کے لیے، علی نے مانگا تھا غازی کو کربلا کے لیے. وفا تھی ان کے لیے اور یہ وفا کے لیے، علی نے مانگا تھا غازی کو کربلا کے لیے. یا حسین 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 یا حسین.
السلام عليك يا رسول الله، السلام عليك يا أمير المؤمنين، السلام عليك يا فاطمة الزهراء سيدتي نساء العالمين، السلام عليك يا حسن المجتبى، السلام عليك يا أبا عبد الله، وعلى الأرواح التي حلت بفنائك عليك مني جميعا سلام الله أبدا ما بقيت وبقي الليل والنهار، ولا جعل الله الآخر العهد مني لزيارتكم. السلام على الحسين وعلى علي بن الحسين وعلى أولاد الحسين وعلى أصحاب الحسين. السلام عليك يا علي بن الحسين ومحمد بن علي وجعفر بن محمد وموسى بن جعفر وعلي بن موسى ومحمد بن علي وعلي بن محمد والحسن بن علي. السلام عليك يا مولاي يا صاحب العصر والزمان، السلام عليك يا خليفة الرحمن، السلام عليك يا شريك القرآن، السلام عليك يا كعبة الإيمان، السلام عليك يا إمامنا وإمام الإنس والجان، أجل الله تعالى مخرجك وظهورك وجعلنا من أنصارك جميعا ورحمة الله وبركاته. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. اللهم كن وليك الحجة ابن الحسن صلواتك عليه وعلى في هذه الساعة وفي كل ساعة وليا وحافظا وقائدا وناصرا ودليلا وعينا حتى تسكنه أرضك طوعا وتمتعه فيها طويلا.